None of that. Or something you forgot. See, everybody's forgotten something. You left it out. Just missed it. See? And so I can bring this out, what you've forgotten, if I ask you, who are you? Well, you say, I'm Paul Jones, or whatever your name happens to be. I say, oh, no. Don't give me that stuff. Who are you, really? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you, really?
In 5, 4. Are you still chewing on that mint? No? Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's kick it. Daryl Collymore, welcome back, dude. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. You know, like I said, I'm just blessed to be back here in New York. You know, home is where the heart is, and, you know, I'm just glad I got here safely.
I'm glad you got here safely, too. You never know with travel, but I'm glad you're here. Daryl, you're coming in hot to New York. I mean, you're coming fresh out of South Carolina, flying up to New York, doing photo shoots, doing podcasts, celebrating the holidays. I mean, what's it like to live such a wild and ambitious life?
Well, you know, it's just the life of a 27-year-old, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like I said, I don't have children, you know, I don't have no significant others, so all that time is just focused on me.
So you're just doing your thing.
Yeah.
So when you're focusing on you, what is it that, what worlds of knowledge are you diving into? What crafts are you diving into? Working on yourself this year, what did you find?
Yeah, you know, honestly, it's just like, you know, trying to find out, you know, how I can better take care of myself because of my work schedule. For the people who don't know, I do work like between like 50, 60 hours per week, you know, permitting.
While going to grad school,
yeah, while in graduate school too. So, I mean, I'm just trying to find ways of like just how to better myself as a person and, you know, a family member and whatever it may be, man. So, you know.
So what have you found what are you working on this year that's making you a better person? Or what did you work on that you feel made you a better person?
I would say, I don't know. I would say what on the process I'm working on is, you know, my patience with people. You know, I've kind of been through a good amount this year. It's like, I don't know what had happened like over the years, but I think like this year was like, just my interactions with like maybe with women. They're not bad, but it's just like, you know, me not understanding on the emotional level with them. Also the fact that like I was out of school for like 9 months. So that was kind of like, I guess you could say depressing. But I have been traveling. So this is like the 10th time that I've been out of town, but
you have done a lot of traveling. That's one thing about you. You get around this planet and this country quite a lot.
Yeah.
It's pretty admirable. But it sounds to me you're working a lot on your like emotional intelligence.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, just because like, you know, I'm in school for family therapy, so it's like, you know, it will make sense for a person like me who's in that field to understand more about people's emotions and stuff like that, especially if I'm going to be working with clients. And during my clinical trials the past couple of weeks, I've seen it already.
So do you feel like that 9 months off of grad school, do you think that was almost meant to be because you kind of needed to learn these things? You kind of needed to learn patience before you can move forward? Like, do you almost feel like things kind of worked out that way?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, during those 9 months, you know, I just feel like I don't know, it felt like it was too forced because I was calling multiple places trying to find like a clinical site. And they weren't taking any grad students. They weren't taking no one. And in the Charleston area, there's barely like any MFT or family therapy supervisors in the first place. So, I mean, that being said, I was just like, you know, what am I going to do? So, like, by the grace of God, you know, I was able to find someone right before I went to California in August. And we'll talk about that too.
Hell yeah.
And
shout out to Paul, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on, Paul?
So, you know, I was able to find a clinical site and, you know, I was really happy. So, but even with that, it still took me a while just to get back into school because I had all this paperwork and stuff. I had stuff for school I had to do as well. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I mean, but I'm in.
You're in.
This is the last year, so.
Hell yes. And, there's something you brought up. We didn't get to dive in it too much, but it really intrigues me. Another part of, I guess, something you've started this year. You let me know if you started it before. But you came in talking about, hold on one second. We got some feedback. We're good. You came in hot yesterday when I picked you up from the airport talking to me about Irish sea moss.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of this in my life. And I'm not a nutritionist. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a health nut, meaning I'm healthy like 80% of the time.
Yeah.
Those other 20%, it's rather dreadful. Mm-hmm. But it almost sounds too good to be true, what this Irish sea moss is. I'm appalled that no one's ever heard of it. Mm-hmm. And the little links and videos you sent me, it's viable. It's got some pretty acclaimed doctors standing behind it. Mm-hmm. It almost just seems like something that, and maybe you can give your thoughts being in the medical field yourself, it just seems like something that's just being ignored. Mm-hmm. Just because it doesn't have the news behind it. Mm-hmm. Or just because maybe there aren't medical institutions behind it. It's more of a, I don't want to call it black market, but it's more of an under the table. Mm-hmm. Like, care to unwrap that? Yeah.
Well, so for the people who don't know, I found out about sea moss through Dr. Sabi, and he's been around for many years, and he had passed away back in 2016 because he got incarcerated because, apparently they were trying to get him for, quote unquote, selling, supplements or whatever it may be, but that wasn't the case. So one day, I think it was like...
So hold on. So this guy, Dr. Sabi, who pioneered Irish sea moss, they locked him up, I guess, for saying, like, practicing without a license because he was selling people this...
Yeah, but... I mean, they couldn't get him on that, and I don't really know like the full story. Or actually, I kind of forgot the full story, but it's just like one of those things. It's like people just don't want to see you do well.
Because I was going to ask, did anybody get hurt from his practices?
No.
Then is anybody getting sick
No.
from it? It's just
no.
It's one of those things where he's spreading this word around. It's costing pharmaceuticals money. Mm-hmm. So those people who are empowered don't want to see him thrive. Don't want to see this knowledge spread.
Exactly. And I watched The Breakfast Club with his wife and his grandsons, whoever, they were talking about him.
So they're keeping it going. His family's keeping the legacy going. That's good to hear.
Exactly. So this man has suffered multiple complications, health complications. He had diabetes, he had impotence, he had asthma. You just name it. He had a whole bunch of stuff. So he'd been traveling just to find different herbs or herbal food or whatever. And I think one time he was brought into court, and they were making him trying to prove you could really heal people with AIDS and stuff like that. And I think he brought in 5 people and asked every single one of them after taking his stuff, were you healed? And they said yes.
That's insane.
And it's just crazy to me, man. And ever since my parents have passed away, I've been a little more conscious of what I eat or stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to take care of yourself.
Exactly. So. And I've always been a fan of eating fruits and vegetables, but I try to incorporate that even more as opposed to eating dead animals. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
So
trying to go a little bit more plant-based.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Daryl Collymore going vegan? Is that what this is?
No, I wouldn't.
Is this your vegan coming out podcast?
No,
I never thought I'd see the day. We were supposed to get burgers after this.
Yeah,
you're gonna get the vegan option.
I speak about that vegan option. When I went to Virginia on the week before Thanksgiving, I got that vegan burger.
The Impossible Burger.
Yeah, the Impossible, all right. But I should have known when they put that in the microwave. That was just a bad idea,
bro. Anything that's coming out of the microwave, quote unquote, fresh, is a load of crap, both for your body and however they're advertising it. But.
Exactly. But yeah, just getting back to the fruits and vegetables and stuff. So I found out about sea moss through him. So I was reading about sea moss, and it literally has 92 of the 102 minerals.
I think it's 99 from what you sent me. I thought I saw 99, but it might be 92.
Yeah, or
let's just say 92 just to be conservative about it.
Right.
Yeah. So
it literally has majority of the minerals that you need for your body, right? And then you include that with bladderwrack and burdock root. That's a mixture right there, and you'll get pretty much all of your minerals in one day. Now,
how long have you been? I don't want to say taking, but eating, drinking. You make shakes out of it, right? Mm-hmm. How long have you been ingesting Irish sea moss now? When did this start for you?
Since October.
Since October? Okay, so in the two and a half months you've been doing this. Mm-hmm. Do you feel a difference?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely felt a difference. Yeah.
Is there anything notable you could bring up? Like,
so I mean, what I would do, when I make these shakes, I would drink the first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. So that means, it would satiate my appetite, and I wouldn't have to eat anything for, who knows how long, and it helps me with my energy level because I work so many hours. But what I will say this though.
So you saw a boost in energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I will say this too. I mean, it's just like with everything else in life. You can't expect like that one magic pill, quote unquote, or something to do the work for you.
I was gonna say you can't have Irish sea moss in the morning, get a Big Mac in the afternoon, and go, why isn't this working?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I've been trying to be a little more disciplined. Now, yeah, I mean, I'm still learning this myself. So I want people like, oh, Daryl, well, you're eating pizza. Well, here's the thing, I'm still young. I can get away with it, but not for
only
long.
that. Don't you exercise?
Yeah. I do that too. So
that's not to say that you could just eat like shit and exercise, but if you exercise consistently, your body's a little bit more forgiving when it comes to pizza.
Exactly.
Especially because you end up using those carbs anyway.
Exactly. So, but I mean, yeah, I drink those like. It shouldn't be every day from what I heard, but you can't really overdose on CMOS, like you can't overdose on marijuana.
Fair enough.
So so I would drink that shit every day. I mean, honestly, I drink that every day, and I even sell it to my coworkers.
Well, that's what I wanted to bring up to you. You are legitimately like boots on the ground entrepreneur right now. Mm-hmm. You're creating these Irish moss sea shakes. Oh my God, I butchered that. You're creating these Irish sea moss shakes, putting them in mason jars and selling them to people.
Yeah.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
I really think that's cool as hell, man. Like, dude, you're such a fucking hustler. Like, you're working 50, 60 hours a week. You're doing graduate school, these clinical trials. You're going to the gym. You're staying fit. And now you have, like, an entrepreneurial project that's on the ground level right now.
Yeah.
And look, you don't got to take that to the top. Mm-hmm. If you use it to get a little bit beer money on the side, that's cool. But I think that's pretty cool, man. That you kind of took it upon yourself. Like you said, this last year, you were kind of working on you. Yeah. And I really think this is one of the keys to life. You were working on you. You found out ways that you could be healthy. You discovered this Irish sea moss. You made shakes out of it, and now you're sharing it with the people around you. Yeah. It's like, you confronted the dragon, got the gold, and you brought it back to share with the community. Yeah. You're a mythological hero, Daryl.
I don't come around all the time, but hey.
When's the manga coming out?
Yeah. Yeah, man. But it's just like, for me, it's just like, I've seen it. I experienced stuff like this since I was little. As far as like people losing their life pretty much right in front of my face. So I mean, I'm not gonna say like, oh, if you don't take it, you're gonna die. But it's just like, I want people to take care of themselves.
You got to stack the odds in your favor.
Yeah, exactly. So but and the other thing is too, I realized that like drinking obviously does not help me because I think
booze is the worst thing for you. Speaking of which, do you want some whiskey? I remember we said we were thinking of having some whiskey while we do this. Do you want some?
Yeah, sure. I'll just take a little bit because I haven't really eaten much yet, but I don't want to.
So you got empty stomach.
Yeah.
All right. So what you want? Like one shot, shot in a glass. I'll hook you up.
I could take a whiskey ginger. I just gotta sip a little.
You want whiskey ginger?
Yeah.
Not my house. Oh, you're drinking this shit straight.
Oh, my bad.
Do you have ginger ale?
I don't.
Well, so what the fuck we talking about?
I thought you had ginger ale.
I ain't got no ginger ale.
All right.
Well, I love ginger ale, but I got no ginger ale.
Well, we'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out. Do you want me to get the whiskey? You want some Jameson Black?
Maybe a little later.
Maybe a little later?
Yeah, a little
All right,
later.
you sound the bell. I'll go get it, bro.
Yeah, a little
I
later.
got you.
But
anyway, yeah, drinking's not so great for you either.
No.
You know what baffles some people when I tell them this and they look at me like I got 3 fucking heads? Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping you could validate me here. Let's say in the morning you worked out, you did some strength training. Mm-hmm. You went to the gym, did a back workout. Mm-hmm. You come back and you have a protein-rich meal. Mm-hmm. If you go out and drink that night, you're not fucking up your workout calorie-wise. That's not what we're talking about here. What I try to explain to people is that if you work out during the day to build muscle, and then you drink alcohol later in the day, the alcohol protein synthesis that happens in your body cancels out those proteins. Mm-hmm. Your muscles are not going to get the amino acids and the proteins they need to rebuild themselves stronger than they were before. Mm-hmm. I mean, can you validate this for me in any way? Because I feel like I say this to people and they look at me like I'm an idiot.
No, I mean, I would say that's very true. I mean, some people are just different, but for me at least, I know like, back in college, like I would work out maybe like 4 or 5 days a week, and then I'll save all that drinking towards like the weekend when I'm not working out.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, it's like I know on days like if I work out in the morning and stuff, or like the days that I'm off.
Yeah.
And I already have it in my head. It's like I'm not even gonna drink because number one, I don't have money for that. Number two, I really don't have much alcohol in my house or whatever, and I try to save it. And number three is just like I know how I act when I get really stupidly drunk. So
bro, isn't that funny? It's like when we were in college, it was kind of fun to get stupid drunk. But part of growing up is like I don't want to be a fucking an idiot.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's funny when you're with your juvenile buddies inside a safe, like, gated college community.
Yeah.
But, in the real world, people are just going to look at you like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And like I said, everyone slips up too. So, I ain't the one to judge. Like, I mean, if you're out with, like, your close friends or family or whatever, and you get...
Of course. Well, there's a difference between being drunk and fucked up and being an idiot. We were fucking idiots when we were, like, 20, dude.
Yeah, man. But, yeah, man, it's just like, if I work out, I just don't like to drink, but I mean, it sometimes it happens. But yeah, I mean, as far as like your point about how that pretty much cancels it out, yeah,
it cancels it out. The protein alcohol synthesis doesn't work because my favorite thing is like on a Sunday, right? If I'm at the bar with my friends, I'll have a Coke and I'll tell them, "Nah, I'm not drinking. It's gonna kill my workout." They're like, "But you're drinking that soda." It's like, yes, there's no alcohol in the soda.
Yeah,
and people are like, "But soda could be worse for you." It's like, technically, yes, because of all the sugar.
Right.
But I'm trying to talk about when the alcohol and the protein synthesize, it just does not work.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. Like I don't want to hate on alcohol. I like drinking. Drinking's fun. Like we've had a lot of good times drinking and having and stuff. But isn't it funny how like the things that are legal and pushed upon people are some of the most poisonous or literal poisonous things in the world, like cigarettes, booze.
But that's what they want.
That's what. Why do they want? Who's they, and why do they want that?
I say like, the FDA as far as like, pushing all those drugs and stuff, and not wanting to push like supplements and stuff. I don't know if that's actually good for you. I mean, because they just because of money. That's all it is.
Well, sick people do create business.
Yeah.
Like sick people need things. A healthy person doesn't need much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like if you have options, then why the hell you need that person? You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's something I've been working on this year, and I've done a pretty good job at it. I really want to do a much better job at it in 2020. Something I worked on a lot this year. I don't want to be a slave to my appetites. I feel like not all the time. Most of the time I'm very good, but this is like I was talking about before, that 20%, I can be a real slave to my appetites. Whether that's my need for like a greasy, savory meal, or whether that's my need for a drink, or, whether it's a need for any of these other things that I like to partake in.
Yeah.
I don't want those things pulling my strings. Sometimes they do. And it's a hard thing to admit that sometimes your appetites, and it could be your sexual appetite too, I mean, that's the whole point of No Nut November, is to silence the appetite. But I really want to try and continue limiting my need for certain things.
So how do you do that?
I practice, baby. Meditation's a huge one. Meditation helps with almost everything. Because if you can learn to sit and just breathe and be satisfied just sitting and breathing, then you don't need anything. You don't need validation from people if you can do this well. You don't need drugs if you can do this well. I'm not saying meditate for fucking 8 hours a day. That's a whole other drug in itself, if you ask me. I know some people will disagree with me on that, but I think a really good way to do that is practice not needing anything. Whether that comes through meditation or that comes through exercise or just comes from introspection. Take a hot shower and think about your life. Yeah,
definitely, man. I mean, that's the thing. We all need time to take care of ourselves, number one, and that's something that I have been trying to do. But I mean, it takes practice. Definitely a lot of discipline. I think about I've been thinking about this for like years, but I definitely want to get back into martial arts. I've been speaking about
what's calling you.
Well, just the discipline, self-discipline, the physical activity. I mean, like already know how to whoop ass, but it's just like, you just
do it with a little more style. A little bit more.
Yeah, exactly. So,
be a little more crafty with your takedowns.
Yeah, and I've been speaking to a few of my coworkers at the job, and like, I know a lot of them, they're wrestling coaches too. So
okay.
I was speaking to them about that, and they're like, yeah, man, you can come through anytime. I can show you a few moves or whatever. So, I got one of the numbers, and, maybe sometime next year, we'll link up and we'll go to his gym and then, do something.
That'd be fucking great.
Yeah, man. Just because, like, I always want to stay sharp and, well, I mean, there's things that you just never lose. But, I mean, I just want to be on my toes,
You want to be engaged.
Yeah.
You want to be engaged.
Yeah.
I get that. Life feels better when you go through it engaged.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dormant and not completely, but it's like we all learned it in school. If you're staring at the clock's not going to move.
Mm-hmm.
But if you sit there and actually participate, the class flies by.
Right.
That applies everywhere in life. If you're at work and you're just kind of sitting there, and maybe it's your job to just sit there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but if you're just sitting there, that shit's going to drag on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and like, especially with my job, sometimes there's days that are just like, oh my god, this is so fucking slow. And then the other days it's like, it's going by really quick. But that's the whole thing with me having patience with, people, whether it's the patients or the staff. So I know for me, it's like, I gotta keep telling myself, like, I won't be there for long. This ain't gonna be like, this ain't my career here. This is the reason why I'm in graduate school, and that was part of the thing of me being like so, like, I guess, sad about not being in school, because like I feel like that's like my saving grace at this point, because
it's what's gonna help you move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, imagine if I wasn't in grad school. Like, I don't know if I can even imagine that, because like my father had pushed me to want to go past college, and like I thought about doing the same when I was in college. So. But yeah, I don't know, man. And as far as like, student loans and shit, well, fuck. President Obama and Michelle Obama, they paid off their loans like not too long ago, and they're in their 50s. So it's like, I have no excuse.
That's so terrifying.
It is terrifying, but it's like, you know what?
That's a load of bullshit. Those motherfuckers, the second that guy was elected into office, any debt he had was wiped away.
Yeah.
They're just saying that so you and I feel better about having a Sally Mae with her fucking foot on our heads for the next 5-10 years, or however long our payment plans are. Yeah, I mean,
well, hey, they sold me, but I mean, but still, it's just like, I can't let shit like that stop me either.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
definitely not. Debt's funny like that. You can't let debt just sit there. You have to attack it.
Yeah, and man, I before I got reinstated, I asked the debt collector, I was like, so how much do I have in student loans? And they were like, well, Mr. Collymore, you have about, close to, I don't want to say the number, but it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they were like, yeah, you want to pay that today? I'm like, hell fucking no. Fuck out of here. Like, I can't pay that shit. They were just joking with me, but I was like, that shit ain't a joke. That shit ain't a joke.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. But
well, you know what I suggest to a lot of people, because like pretty much everyone our age has got fucking student debt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all for being an investor. Invest in stocks.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in crypto. Invest in things. Like, invest in the things that interest you is basically what I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have student loans, investing excess money into your student loans, probably the best investment you can make. Why? Because you're being charged 8% interest. There's hardly any stock out there where you're going to collect 8% interest. Hate to break it to you. But if that's what you're paying, put the stock market to the side and take care of that fucking debt.
Yeah, I mean...
By the way, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial expert. Everything I'm saying is it's just me.
Yeah.
So, don't listen to me.
I mean, that's just like, with your personal experience. I mean, that's what everyone's personal experience. I mean, my father listened to Dave Ramsey for like who knows how long, and one of the nurses at the job, he was telling me about him, and one of the first things that Dave Ramsey says, make sure you have an emergency money, and then put some of that extra money towards debt, because you need to knock it down.
Have your nest egg in case shit goes down.
Yeah.
In case your car explodes overnight.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, take care of any debt, whether it's a mortgage payment, whether it's a student loan. It's like no matter what it is.
Right.
Which is funny because I feel like most mortgages, at least the people at work I talk to and people I know who are buying houses now, these motherfuckers got 3-4% interest. I was like, suck my dick. Suck my dick. You know what I do for 3-4% interest? Shit. I won't suck your dick, but I'll do some crazy shit.
For real, man. It's like, yeah, they're in a position of power because they're a homeowner, you know?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like, I'm over here, like, slaving for money.
Dude, and you know what? It's like, I don't even use my degree. I work in tech. I work in IT. Mm-hmm. I have a business degree.
Right.
Proud of it.
Right.
Love it. Learned some great shit.
Right.
But doesn't have much to do with my career anymore.
Right. And that's...
It was a necessary stop on the... Sorry to interrupt, but it was a necessary stop on the path.
Right.
I'm not trying to say I do anything differently.
Right.
If I did do things differently, you wouldn't be here. I met you at college.
Right, exactly.
You know? But all things considered, it's just funny to see how some things turn out.
Exactly, man. I mean, like, I was just on the computer, you know, speaking with my supervisor and my professor. And, you know, we were just having a conversation about how I'm doing in clinicals and stuff. You know, of course, my supervisor had nothing but great things to say about me. But then I brought up the question as far as, like, what will be more conducive after I get my master's? Will it be getting a PhD in family therapy? Will it be just a doctorate in family therapy? Or will it be a PhD in psychology?
And what did they tell you?
Well, they told me a lot of things because they are both, you know, they have a lot of information, and that's a lot to take in as a 27-year-old graduate student.
Fair enough.
But just to give you like the gist of it, they just said go wherever your passion is.
Go wherever your passion is.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly, that's interesting advice. I always thought because that seems to be the across the board advice for a lot of people is go with your passion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that's always the answer.
It's not.
It can be the answer.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like they gave you some vague advice right there.
Well,
maybe you used it well. I'm not trying to invalidate, you know where you're going, but I don't know. I'm always weary of stuff like that.
No,
if you have a passion, I'm sorry to interrupt again, but like if you have a passion for shaving your legs, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna pay the bill shaving your legs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, there was a lot of details that they told me about, but that was just like. That's kind of, well, that's what one of them said. But I mean, you know, they were telling me too, it's like, you know, if you get your PhD or whatever in family therapy, you know, you'll still be able to practice, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But if you get like your doctorate, you'll be able to teach, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then they were just like, you know, whatever you want to do, it's all up to you.
And you went with family therapy.
Mm-hmm.
What made you choose that?
Well, I think just because of like what I've been through, you know, and I'm a son. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm a son, a grandson, a brother, a cousin, you know, a nephew, etc. The list goes on and on. And you know, and when I'm going through clinicals, I'm thinking like, wow, this is exactly why I want to pursue this field, because you know I feel like I understand what certain families go through. So like, you know, whether it's a bad marriage, I mean, not me personally, but whether, you know, there's a bad marriage or like, you know, siblings aren't speaking to each other, the parent and the child aren't speaking to each other, whatever it may be, I just feel like I could bring my own personal experience into it.
To mend those wounds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is what I was going to say before when we were talking about how the advice they gave you was follow your passion. I feel like better advice might be follow the call, follow what suits you.
Mm-hmm.
Follow what you're suited for.
Mm-hmm.
I have a passion for baseball. At least I definitely did when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I was not suited for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I love to play it, but I wasn't suited for it. You picked what you were best suited for.
Mm-hmm.
You felt family therapy. You had the most to offer that field.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like before passion, you chose something. You chose the sector of reality where you could help the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what people should be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have plenty of time for passions in your free time.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, when you work, you want to be helping. You want to make society a better place with your work. Ideally, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I feel like you didn't necessarily, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is family therapy your highest passion? Like, of all the things you could do in your free time, like if you had all the money in the world, let's say you don't even need all the money. Let's say you had $1 billion. You don't need to work no more. You've got a Roth IRA that generates $10,000 a year for you. Mm-hmm. What are you doing in your free time?
That's a very good question. I don't even know where to start, honestly. I think I'll still be doing family therapy, honestly, just because I just feel like I have something to offer. I just feel like I have something to offer. And working in the psychiatric hospital and now doing clinicals, I just see, now it's like, I feel like I have my purpose now in life.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
I feel like I found my purpose. I mean, right now at the job, personally, it's not, I don't feel as useful like I used to be. So that's why, my head's kind of like shifting towards like school, because I just feel like with doing therapy, I'll get the most out of myself. I get the most out of my clients. I get the most out of whoever's working with me.
And that's the thing, man. I think it's more about that. Where can you help the most? Mm-hmm. What's the heaviest load you're able to carry? Mm-hmm. It's not about lollipops and fancy pants, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The things that are going to fulfill you aren't the candy and the Ferraris.
Yeah, exactly.
It's finding where you can help better the world.
Yeah.
And you know what? I commend you because, when I said, like, what would you be doing if you didn't need money? Daryl, of all the things that you're interested in, of all the things that you love, whether it's food, anime, basketball, football, all the things you and I have spoken about in great length, you went right back to where you're headed. Mm-hmm. You went right back to, I'd still be doing family therapy if I was a billionaire.
Yeah, I mean...
And I think that's the exact guy we want working in family therapy. So I'm glad that this is the path at least you're treading.
Yeah, and I gotten validation through that too, because it's like the last session that I sat in, this was with African-American male. So, I mean, right there, and my supervisor actually, she set me up on purpose because she knew that we would click just like that,
Nice.
So, I just, when he told me what he told me, I felt a lot better about myself. I was like, see, I know there's a purpose. Now I know my purpose, and for the people who don't really know me, when I was younger, I was like the shyest kid on planet Earth. But now I'm not really shy anymore. I just don't talk to people because I just don't have anything to offer, or I'm not getting paid. So there's no
I wouldn't say you don't have anything to offer, Daryl. I just think you've dealt with too many annoying people, and they just made you go inward.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's just
because we couldn't shut you the fuck up in college.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, sometimes
you were the ambassador of the entire university. You knew everyone.
Yeah,
you talked to everyone.
Yeah, like I said, and sometimes maybe I gotta get back to my old ways, and because it's like, wow, you talk a little too much, Daryl. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should just stop talking sometimes. But but I mean, I was in college, and I was out of the parents' house, and I was like, man, I gotta talk, at least to survive in college. I gotta say something, if I want to talk to this girl, I can't just always sit in the corner.
You did like that corner.
I did like that.
You did like that corner.
Yeah, but sometimes you gotta say something. Like I say, sometimes silence is betrayal.
Well, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. I think one of the important things about life is learning to speak your being forward. Mm-hmm. Your speech and your word at the end of the day are probably your most powerful tool. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, like when you're a kid, the reason you learn to speak and the reason you're reinforced to keep learning how to speak is because you learn that speaking helps you get what you want. Mm-hmm. If you're hungry, you now know how to tell the people that feed you that you're hungry. Right. If you're hurt, you know how to tell them you're hurt. Mm-hmm. That doesn't just apply when you're a kid. This counts when you're an adult too. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe this is why mental illness might be such a problem for some people, because maybe people are afraid to speak themselves forward. They're afraid to say, hey, I'm feeling this. Can you listen? Mm-hmm. They don't always need help. Sometimes they just need someone to listen. At least in my experience, I found a lot of the time people just need someone to listen. They don't need someone who's going to fix their problems because only they can fix their problems. Mm-hmm. But if people are too scared to speak themselves forward and get that kind of support from people, I feel like it does nothing but cause havoc. I mean, you could tell me whether I'm right or wrong. I'm kind of just speaking off the dome here.
No, you're definitely right. And that's something that my supervisor and I have spoken about too. And that's something called like Self as a Therapist.
Yeah.
So, her and I, we kind of went over like, the session that I sat in and stuff like that. And then she was asking me some questions about me, and I was telling her, like, well, I get a lot of my demeanor from my father because he was pretty quiet and stuff like that. So that's kind of like where I get my personality stuff from. And if I acknowledge that, then it'll help me out as far as like, when I'm speaking to a client.
Yeah, just move that mic a little bit closer to you.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then when I get into sessions with my clients, I have a good understanding of myself. Mm-hmm. So then I'm able to understand other people.
Right.
So, but that is, like I said, that's something I am working on too. But I mean, not Rome wasn't built in one day, so
Yo, Rome. Here's my thing. Rome wasn't built in a day, but it nearly burned in a week. Dude, it is so much easier to destroy than it is to create.
Oh yeah.
Creation, no matter what it is a long process compared to how long it takes to destroy said creation.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's the same thing with trust.
Yeah, same thing with trust. It takes a long time to build trust, but one fuck up to ruin it.
Mm-hmm. And that's something that I feel like I kind of did with, a certain person that, like I said, I won't name or whatever.
Won't be named.
Yeah, but that person we're not. I don't know if we're on the best of terms or whatever, but I mean, it's just kind of cordial at this point. But that's something I'm still trying to work on too. Is like, at that moment in time, I was angry, so I said things out of anger, and I ended up hurting that person's feelings. And now we don't really speak like that anymore. But I mean, we see each other, every so often.
Quite often, yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, man, it's just like working on, things that I say to people, my patience, and health, a lot of shit. Yeah. So, but I mean, one thing I did learn though is that I'm not as afraid of planes as I used to be, because I went across the fucking country to go visit my friend Paul, or our friend Paul.
Our friend Paul.
Yeah, our friend
Charleston,
Paul,
baby.
In my first time in California. So, yeah, I mean, it's just crazy because like was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I went to I flew to Fort Lauderdale, for my brother's birthday, and I was scared shitless. Like I was like looking out the window.
Well, because you never really flown before.
No.
We always drove down to Charleston when we made those trips and eventually moved there.
Yeah, man.
It was always a drive.
Yeah, and I was asking like my brother and my landlord, I was like, yo, what's it like to be on a plane? See, they never really like went in full detail about like the takeoff. So.
Oh, the big.
Yeah, I got sucked in. Oh boy, oh shit. I was like, oh shit.
Dude, I have such a fucking funny clip to show you when this is over about just that.
Oh man. Yeah, man. But it's just like, I learned something about myself, like, which I always knew, but just learning more about myself as far as like, no matter what the distance is, if I have someone who's across the country or someone who's overseas, if I have the time and if I have the money, I'm going to do it. And it just so happens that, when I went to go visit Paul, that weekend, I had already set in place on my schedule, and we were going to a festival. So yeah, and it was. Let me tell you this. I was in the Bay Area for the people who don't know. That was my first time ever, and it was nothing but beautiful, nice brisk sunny weather for the entire week.
Solid like 75.
Oh no! It was like
80, 85. What are we looking at?
No, it was like maybe like in the 60s or whatever.
60s.
Yeah, I was like, this is so fucking beautiful. I mean, I was talking.
What time during the year was this, Daryl?
August. This is the beginning of August.
It's 60 degrees in San Fran during August.
Yeah, because it's a different type of climate.
I never knew. I'm a little ignorant. So
yeah. Well, you say you went to California, though, right?
I've been to California a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But I don't remember exactly what temperature it was. So
yeah, man. Like,
I'm not a climate scientist, unfortunately.
Nah, it's fine.
Actually, fortunately, I don't want that life.
Me either. But I mean, like, yeah, man. I was telling Paul, I was like, yo, how in the hell you wake up to this kind of weather every day and you say, I gotta go to work? Fuck that. I literally, like, where he lives, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge.
Well, you see, Daryl, if he doesn't go to work, he can't live there anymore.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, Yeah, it's good logic. But I'm just saying, it's like, dude, like I don't know how you do it, like, but like where his apartment is, you can literally see the Golden Gate Bridge from like a distance.
God damn it.
Yeah, man. I was like, yo, I was out there for a week. A week.
Did you have a good time?
Hell yeah.
What was the best part?
Everything. Everything.
How was the food? I'm always curious about that when traveling. How was the food?
Well, fucking expensive, of course. But
San
it was
Fran, the air is expensive.
exactly, but it was good, man. Paul, he took me out to like this pizza spot or whatever. And then I think he took me like some other spot. But most of the time he was cooking food.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Paul?
Yeah.
Paul himself cooking some food?
Yeah.
What does Paul cook?
Shit, I don't know what he made. I mean, he was making breakfast and I don't know what he made for like dinner and shit, but I think it was like chicken or whatever it was.
Was it enough to satisfy your bottomless pit?
Yeah.
Well, good on you, Paul.
Yeah,
You've
man.
accomplished what many men have tried to do.
Yeah, man.
But have failed.
But man, I just say it was like one hell of a time out there, man. I met him, met his roommate, his roommate's girlfriend, their friends or whatever. Like I had such a great time. And for the people who follow me on Instagram, you can at D_Seymour. You can see the I don't know, second, third post or whatever it was. It was back in August.
Hell yeah.
I went. So I had one hell of a time, man.
That's awesome. Another shout out to Paul, man. Thanks for being a great neighbor when we lived down in Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for watching the Mets Dodgers NLDS with me. I know that's totally random, but like, bro, when you're in Charleston, and not only does no one give a fuck about baseball, there's no fucking Mets fans anywhere to be seen.
Oh,
but
no.
Paul, this guy hits me up and he's like, "Come on over, let's watch this Mets Dodgers game."
Mm-hmm.
I always really appreciated that. So
Yeah,
if you're
man.
listening, Paul, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you got to see him over in San Fran. Did you do anything in particular, or were you kind of just chilling?
So basically,
Did you walk the Golden Gate?
trying to think, do we walk? Well, we drove on it, but
Nice.
where he took me, like I don't know I forgot which road it was or whatever, but like he was driving up this like big ass hill or whatever, and like I was taking pictures, and like you can literally just see it's like right in front of your fucking face, like it was like the set of Full House.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wish we went there too, but I forgot. But yeah, man, like he was driving up this like big ass like hill, and you can just literally like see it. And so we parked, and we started taking pictures, and then we drove up a little bit closer, started taking more pictures. But I mean, dude, like I would have never imagined that. Like I would never imagine this when I was like little.
Could you see yourself moving out there?
Oh shit, yeah. When I was out there, I was like, man, I gotta move out here now. But but I mean, and even my coworker who before I left,
I'd still visit you once a year if you moved to fucking San Fran. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy too? Like I thought about moving out to California. I think probably years ago when I started grad school. But I mean, now I look at it, it's like, well, it's kind of too late because I would have had to put myself on a California track for family therapy because they have a specific track
for California.
Yes.
Are they a special breed?
Yeah.
I mean, families in California might be different than families over here on the East Coast.
I just think California in general, they got different laws, and all this other like.
Bro, they're crazy. The land of fruits and nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so different. Like I'm taking a 40-hour a credit hour like curriculum.
But I feel like California is a lot like New York in regards to like, one, it's a big state.
Mm-hmm.
Two, it's densely populated.
Mm-hmm.
California is not LA. California is not San Fran, San Diego. It's not just these cities. Like Northern California is rural as fuck. It's gorgeous. Like if you can make it to Yosemite National Park, highly recommend it. Like it's gorgeous, but it's so different. It's like, that back when I lived in Carolina with you, I'm sure you still deal with this. People here from New York, the first thing they think is Manhattan. Oh, I've never been to New York. What are all the lights like? Bitch, I live on an island. Anyway, meanwhile, upstate New York looks like Georgia.
Yeah.
Rural Georgia.
Yeah, man. I mean, but I love New York. Always be in my heart. So
I'll always love New York.
Yeah, but the crazy part is though, like my brother and I, we were speaking about like New York and stuff. Now, what's New York State without New York City? What's New York City without Manhattan? And then what's Manhattan without like, I don't know.
Good question. So what's New York State without the city?
Nothing.
Bullshit, motherfucker.
You think so?
I absolutely think so.
Why is that? No, honestly, I
No, it's a good question. It's a good question. Well, let's clarify, right? Let's clarify what we're talking about here. So when you say New York ain't shit without New York City, are we just taking this whole city out? Or are we taking all those businesses out? Like, what exactly do we mean that New York ain't shit without New York City? Because, motherfucker, we got beaches out here. Motherfucker, we got entire fishing industries all the way out east.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we got Niagara Falls upstate. We've got... You know what, Daryl? I guess New York shit. And New York really ain't shit without the city.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, there's cool things, right?
Yeah.
But if you stacked like the island, Long Island, and the beaches and upstate New York, fuck you. No, there's beautiful hiking trails everywhere you go.
Well,
the food is delicious. We got sports teams. Like,
well, I was gonna include like Long Island as far as like with the city, just because
Oh, so now we're gonna include Long Island in the city.
That's what I was thinking.
So you're trying to say without the city in Long Island, New York ain't shit.
What do people go to New York for? They ain't going.
Tourists isn't how you measure the value of a state, Daryl.
But I mean, come on now.
We're going to invalidate Ithaca. We're going to invalidate Buffalo.
Yeah,
we're going to invalidate all of Orange County. We're going to invalidate Westchester.
Yeah.
We're going to invalidate Albany. We're going to invalidate Niagara Falls. What else can we throw onto this pile of shit, Daryl?
Yeah, but
what else are we invalidating in the state of New York?
Yeah, but you're talking to a upstate New Yorker,
Yeah, you're a bitter fuck.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But I'm just saying though, it's like people,
pizza, Daryl.
Yeah, pizza and bagels. But I'm just saying, it's like when people people who don't live in New York, they're always talking about the city. They're not really talking about Buffalo.
Their loss. Buffalo's fucking great.
Oh, well, because you lived in New York, your whole life. But I mean, saying like people who had never been.
You're right. New York's tourism industry would be shot without New York City. And you know what? Probably the arts too. I'm going to give you that. Now that we start to talk about this more, it's revealing itself to me. You're right. A lot of brilliant music and art has come out of New York City. Mm-hmm. But do you know what's a load of bullshit? Have you seen the banana that was duct taped to a wall and sold for $120,000?
No.
You don't know about this?
No.
Beautiful. I was looking for an excuse to pull something up. So hang right here. I shit you not. And this is how far we've fallen as a fucking society.
What?
I didn't even try and kid.
So is this like worse than like the egg on Instagram?
Is it worse than the egg on Instagram? Okay, tell me about the egg on Instagram. Okay. I remember this, but I don't remember it as vividly.
Okay, so like I think it was like a few months ago, like there was like a picture of an egg, and it had gotten so many likes on Instagram. It got
the most likes.
Yeah, and people were actually getting like pissed. I'm like, it's not that serious.
Well, I feel like the people who organized that probably wanted to piss people off.
Yeah, the ones who are narcissistic and like, woe was me or something. I don't know. But
all right, bro, so check this out. For people who are listening, I'm just pulling up photos for Dal to reference. All right, so motherfucker duct tapes this to the wall. Just a banana. It's everything you're looking at. It's nothing more than what you're looking at.
What?
Okay, it's a banana duct taped to the wall. Someone bought it for $120,000 and they ate it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they ate it personally. But this is how far we've fallen. I was at the Van Gogh Museum 6-7 months ago. Motherfucker's rolling in his grave twice. I think shit. That guy died broke, Daryl. Van Gogh died broke. And we're out here spending $120,000 on bananas. So here you go. Look, USA Today. Banana art priced at $120,000 at Art Basel exhibit was eaten.
It's like why though? It's like
why? Well, here's how they rationalize this load of fucking bullshit, Daryl. So this motherfucker says that like it has something to do with the finality of duct tape because duct tape could hold up forever, but banana's rotten. So he's like, it's a fusion of the infinite and the finite. And I'm like, eat my balls, dude. Fuck you. I can't believe this.
And this is why I tell people,
stay in the house.
Yeah. And more so, I stay in my room. Because this is the shit I gotta see when I'm public. Now we're taping.
Wait, yo, check this. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The second edition sold to a man at the annual art festival, the site reports, and Periton and Catalan agreed to raise the price to $150,000 before selling the third edition to a museum. It keeps selling.
Yo.
And they're raising the price, Daryl.
And what are we doing? What are we doing? We're looking at this banana being taped, and they're making money off of this.
Why? I feel so fucking bad for anyone out there that's an artist. Like, what incentive do they have to try?
I don't know.
I have seen people make masterpieces, whether they're paintings or sculptures, people in my network, and then this.
Man,
it's a joke, right? Like, that's kind of the point.
Yeah, but
like, it's a joke. It's supposedly like trying to expand the boundaries of what can and cannot be considered art.
Like that has to be like the ultimate backhand. Like you can.
It's a smack in the fucking face, Daryl. It is a smack in the fucking face.
Like 120K
for a banana. But this is kind of the double-edged sword. Here we are fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
Here we are fucking talking about it.
They did their due diligence. They're making us talk about it.
Exactly. So there's some validity to it, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, fuck you. I know people trying so much harder who are broke. Drives me nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. But you know what? For all you artists out there who are out there grinding, keep it up. So someone out there is going to appreciate what you're doing.
Exactly, man. I mean, but damn, that 120,000. You know what I can do with 120,000?
I guess that's Colin.
It might.
All right, so my buddy Colin's knocking on the door. I might edit this out, but Daryl, keep it going.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlotte. Charlotte likes to knock like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Charlotte and Colin.
Mo, I thought Charlotte was coming back.
You have a key.
No, Charlotte doesn't. I have Charlotte's key.
Oh, you have Charlotte's key.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt the podcast.
Yeah. All right.
What's funny is like through the headphones we could hear you guys fucking talking.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was like, who the hell's coming?
Yeah.
Sorry.
You doing my podcast right now?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Should I hold on?
Yeah, I would don't go past the camera. Yeah.
I can mess shit up.
Yeah, don't go past the camera, but oh man, what's going on, Colin?
Oh man, a lot since the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
Holy shit, I'm glad you're here, man.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to be back.
Like how long the beard's getting.
Yeah, Miracle Grow. So a little bit of Miracle Grow, maybe some water, some sunlight.
That's the secret?
Oh.
Man, I've been doing it wrong.
No, man, it's just I don't know. I was what was I think I was talking to it might have been Nick or whoever like the other day. I was like, I thought about like just shaving it off, but I was like, no, I look exactly the same like when I was 12.
Colin, you want to jump in? You want to sit right there? Just jump in we got like 10 minutes left, so you just want to jump in for 10 minutes.
Maybe I'll just watch.
Okay, so
Yeah, this is Daryl's show.
Oh, it's the Daryl show. I like that.
White people have already taken enough from his.
But
all right, hold on. Before we do anything, one second. Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say though, if you didn't know or if you guys haven't heard, myself, Corey, and I would say Simon too probably, but it's mostly Corey and I.
Shout out to Corey and Simon.
Yeah, we have our own podcast.
You guys have your own podcast.
Yeah.
Did it launch yet?
Well, so it's still like in the works. Corey's the
Holy shit.
Corey's the mastermind of this, so he's been doing this for like the past like I want to say a few months or whatever, and like we haven't been able to really like meet up because we all live in like different places.
Yeah.
But it's called the Locker Room Talk Podcast.
The Locker Room Talk Podcast.
Yeah. So you can follow it at lockerroomtalk.podcast, something like that. Yeah. Or
it's on Instagram right now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll here. Keep talking. I'll finalize that tag.
Yeah. So or I think it's at lockerroom.talk, something like that. I feel like I should know that, but I forgot. But yeah,
here we go. Okay, so it's at lockerroom.talk.
Yeah, there we go.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so I wanted to give a shout out to our own podcast. Like I said, we haven't really made that many episodes yet, just because of our schedule's been, a little hectic or whatever. But we're still.
We'll give you the push, man. We'll give you the Landy Lodge push.
Yeah, man.
Maybe send a few people your way.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure you get some likes.
Yeah, like I said, it's just mostly Corey and I talking about sports, music, girls.
You're dudes.
Yeah.
It's locker room talk.
Yeah, exactly. So, now the way that we had set this up or whatever, the way that he had kind of set this up, I mean, we had our own Instagram, our group chat, whatever, called Locker Room Talk. So that's how it started.
So it started as an Instagram chat where you guys were probably just sending dank memes to one another and talking shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
And now it's grown into a podcast. I love this.
Yeah. So
I love this.
Man. And like,
this is great.
And like I said, I want to give a shout out to Corey again because it was mostly him who set up these group chats.
Yeah.
And this has been going on for like the past couple of years for the group chats. And I think this podcast just kind of started like,
That's amazing.
Sometime last year, yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all about this shit.
Yeah, man. So like I said, I've been trying, hold my end of the bargain. It's just like my hectic work schedule in school,
You're a fucking maniac, Daryl. Fucking 50, 60 hour work weeks, going to graduate school, doing these clinicals, selling Irish sea moss, doing the Locker Room Talk podcast. Is there any fucking stopping you? What's the secret?
No, there's no.
What's the secret, Daryl? Tell the people how you do it.
Man.
Is it the Irish sea moss?
If I tell you, it wouldn't be a secret.
I'm asking you to liberate the secret. Let it free. Let it out. Send it through the airwaves.
I mean...
Do you just know Nut November all year? Like, what is it?
Well, if you must ask how I just, do me so well...
How do you crush?
Man, it's just I would say just persistence, discipline, just hard work.
Enough of the generic bullshit.
How
are you crushing, Daryl?
Man, it's just...
Tell us how.
Man, like I said, it's just like, getting rid of the bullshit and
Are you on speed?
No. My
You
heart...
got awfully serious right there.
Nah, my heart...
I feel like it was obvious I was talking in jest.
Nah,
I feel like I'm onto something now.
Nah,
Ooh, what's in that Irish sea moss, Daryl?
Well,
Is that code? The ISM?
Nah,
Bro,
man.
Daryl's going to hit me up with more of that ism.
That
You need that ism, bro?
is.
It'll spark you up.
Yeah. Well, hey, it definitely will spark you up. I mean,
you got me sold.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I try to put people on. So I'm like, I don't know, and that's cool because you don't know about it. But
always do your own research.
Exactly. So and I always give people a sample of my shit too. So like I said, one of my coworkers got hooked up. She's like, I'll pay you. And at first I was like, you don't have to. She's like, no.
I mean, you kind of got me sold. I want to send you like a gallon jug that you can ship in the mail.
Hey, I'll do it.
So what's in the shake?
So,
Wait, I'm not going to let this distract us. Is the Irish sea moss how you crush? Is it the beard? Is it the fro? Is it the afro comb? Is it the stylish glasses? Is it being a stylish motherfucker? Does that amp you up?
I would say just being me.
Just being you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if you want to crush, you have to be Daryl.
Well, no,
I figured it out.
No, it can't be
if
me.
If you want to crush, you have to be Daryl. I'm gonna lay out 12 steps on how to be Daryl.
Well,
it's gonna be an ebook. I'll let you in 20%. That's your cut. 12 steps, but go on. What's in the shakes?
So, what I put in the shake. So obviously it's the. Well, actually, let me backtrack it. So, I bought the sea moss. You can get it online, or you can go to like any like herbal store or whatever. You can get it in raw form, or you get it in powder form. So
how do you get it?
Raw.
Okay.
So
you like it raw. You raw dog.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't get it. What's so funny?
No, I see where you're going with this, but I'm just gonna keep moving.
I think you're just projecting, Daryl. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe you shouldn't know Nut November all year because it's really warping your mind.
Sure. But I'm gonna keep going with what I was saying. So
what do you put in there?
So I put in plant protein. I put in agave. I used to put in coconut sugar, but I think that's probably a little too much for it. But yeah, agave. I definitely put in vanilla extract because that'll get rid of like that plant taste or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll add in raspberries. I'll add in blueberries. I'll add in bananas.
Well, what lubricates it? Like, what's the liquid? Is it just water?
So I blend up Brazilian nuts and macadamia nuts in water.
Blended nuts.
Yes.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So can you just do that in a normal blender, or do you need to have like a special nut blender?
I mean, I have a regular blender, like that Hamilton Beach kind, but
so Hamilton Beach blender will get it done.
Yeah, it'll do it.
How many nuts do you need to make, like, say, a cup of almond water? I guess you'd call it, or almond liquid. What would you consider it?
I put in. How do I do it? Oh, it's a cup of Brazilian and I should put in like half of that. So it's like half a cup of like Brazilian nuts, half a cup of like macadamia nuts. I put it into one. It will make a cup or whatever, and then I'll put it in the blender,
mm-hmm.
and then I'll fill up like maybe like a cup and a half of water in the blender, and I'll blend it up, and then I will put it in a measuring cup, and I'll strain it into like another cup, like in the sink or whatever, so it gets all like that excess out.
Get like the like leftover, like skins.
Yeah,
and
that
stuff.
residue. Yeah, exactly. So and then I'll do that, and then once I have that, then I'll put it back in the blender on top of like the sea moss, the plant protein. There was something else I put in there. Oh, almond butter, all that stuff. I blend it all up in that, and then I'll put it in mason jars.
God damn. Mm-hmm. It sounds delicious.
It is. It is.
Say.
You know, and like I said, I really try to put people on.
And you really noticed a difference in your day-to-day activities when you started drinking this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And like I said,
it's homemade, which I think is very impressive.
Yeah, like I said, what I do with it, you know, when I first get it, I have like a big bowl, and I'll put it in like spring water or alkaline water. You can put lime in it too, but I don't have lime, so I'll just soak it, and they say to soak it for like maybe 4 to 6 hours. But like I said, I just do it in like 1 to 2 hours because I don't feel like waiting that long.
Well, have you ever tried waiting 4 to 6 hours? Because maybe it's better. Maybe it's more effective that way. Have you considered that? I don't know.
I have, but I just really didn't have like the time to because I was like,
you just don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, gotcha. I shouldn't say that, but you know, it's just I didn't have the time to. But yeah, like so once I would do that, what I used to do is I would take it out, and then I'll boil like a pot of water, and I'll put it in the water, and then I'll add cinnamon sticks to it. And I'll let that boil for maybe like
cinnamon sticks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I'll maybe boil that for maybe like I don't know, 10 minutes or so.
Cool.
On like I think it's like medium heat, something like that. And then I'll let it simmer, and then I'll turn it off, and then I'll leave it overnight, and then it'll turn to a gel.
Oh, nice.
That's what I used to do, but now I kind of just like once I rinse it and soak it out, or whatever, I'll put it back in the blender, and I'll add more water into it so that you know I don't get like all those chunks in there. And then I'll just store it in mason jars, and then it can sit in the shelf, like in the refrigerator, for maybe like 2 to 3 weeks.
So it doesn't go bad very quickly.
No, and I had like maybe I don't know how many jars I have now. My coworker just sent me like a whole bag of like mason jars, but I would usually put them like 3 to 4 jars. Yeah, and then I won't have to make sea moss for like weeks.
I'm telling you, Daryl, you should learn how to like ship this shit out, man. Because I'll buy like a 24-pack of mason jars from you. You just let me know what it costs. I'm down to give it a shot. Sounds cool.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm here to help.
Hell yeah, here to help. Well, That's great, man. Look, we passed the hour here, so I want to give you the floor, give you these final minutes. If you got anything left you want to say to the people, you got anything you want to remind them of, like the podcast and stuff like that. But anyway, man, the last few minutes are all yours. Go for it.
Well, I just want to say is, once again, Nick, thank you for allowing me to stay in your home once again.
Of course, dude.
I'm definitely happy to be back in New York. Spending time with my friends and family. I wanted to come back up here during the summer for my brother's birthday, but I couldn't make it. Like I said, I had a bit of a rough summer with just everything going on and stuff. So I definitely am happy to be back. I'm happy to be back in graduate school. I'm happy that I discovered CMOS, and hopefully within the next year, I'm able to learn from this past year and grow from there. And as far as with the podcast, with hopefully mine and Corey's schedule align so that we can try to do it more often. But like I said, health is wealth, so you can't take care of others, you can't take care of yourself. So I'll just leave it at that.
He'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
All right, motherfuckers, if you're listening, you can find the Locker Room Talk podcast at lockerroom.talk. You can find Daryl Collymore on Instagram at @D_Seymour. Isn't there a number? No, it's just at @D_Seymour?
Yeah.
You badass motherfucker.
CMORE.
You ain't even got the numbers.
No,
you're a sick fuck. How do you do it? Well, you got to be Daryl. 12-step program. We've been over this.
Yeah.
Thank you for...
I was going to say, first you got to be black.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Can't thank you again enough. Shout out to the Sages of Lodge. Daryl, thank you so much for coming on. Can't wait to have you on again, buddy.
Appreciate it, man.
Good night, everybody. Or good day. Good afternoon. Whatever the fuck it is.
And forever and ever and ever, whatever it is beyond that.
Oh, man. Woo.
What you might call God in the Western tradition, or Brahman in Hindu philosophy, or Tao in Chinese. Every one of us is really that, but we are pretending we aren't. And we are pretending with tremendous skill and deception. Who are you?